of our Employee and Retiree Service Awards banquet. As we honor these employees today and retirees today, we just would like for them to know that we appreciate the service to the city of Douglasville and all that you contribute in your areas, and for some of you, your retirement. Thank you all so much for being here in support of this event this year. I just want to make a small mention to our honorees today. We did do something a little differently this year with the gifts for your service. So in addition to the service plaques, we have a small envelope of appreciation for you, so please don't throw that away. Okay, so at this time, we'll have our city manager, Mr. Bill Osborne, to come forward and present the service awards.
Thank you very much, Ms. Alston. It's a great pleasure to be here for this afternoon. You know, in the last few months, there have been a number of things that have happened, and I would remark to the mayor and members of the city council, well, I won't have to do that again, or I won't be doing that again. And this is one of those occasions. I'm sorry I won't have that opportunity again, because this is always a real enjoyable time to come to honor a group of our employees. And I've been up here in some form or fashion on this for the past 25 years. And we're honoring some people today that have been here for a long, long time. That there was a time years ago that they were new employees of the city, as was I. But this is always a special time, and I can remember back, and a few of you can also, that we would have this event at Hunter Park in the old Ike Owens building, in the upstairs ballroom or the big room there in that building, and we could get all the city employees comfortably in that room. And then, of course, as the years went by, we were no longer able to accommodate all employees, and frankly, while we enjoy doing this, when you look, if you take all of our employees and you feed them a good meal like we had today, it's fairly expensive. So you're the select group this year for the city, and I congratulate each of you. I want to say thanks to the mayor and the members of the city council for making this possible, as has been the case in the years past, and of course with T. Alston, our new HR director, and her staff. Appreciate what they've done in pulling this together. I'm going to ask Marcia Hampton, the assistant city manager, to come up and join me as we do this recognition. But bottom line is that we've got about 25 employees today that we're honoring for their services, and several who are retirees that we'll be honoring. We do have a special group today, and they're seated at a couple of tables. If I would, I won't call by name, but those of you who are here now, Darren Shaw, you don't stand up on this, even though I understand that you're a very recent retiree, because we'll honor you in just a minute. But those who have been retired at least for more than a month back a number of years, stand up so that we can recognize you this afternoon. Sue, all of you, can y'all stand up and so we can recognize you, or wave. What we'll do now is we will recognize people by groups in terms of the number of years at 5, 10, 15, and so forth. And when I call your name, if you'll come up the steps over here next to me, and I do want to shake your hand, and then you will with Ms. Hampton and Ms. Alston. They will be presenting you with your award, and then once you leave and go down those steps, if you would stay up here, because I think what we're going to do is, while we've got, say, those that have been here for the 5-year recognition, get a picture of you at that time. And then I think, Kelly, is it after adjournment, then we have the police department there, everybody with the police department being, receiving an honor, if they would come over where the chairs are, that you're going to get a shot of them also. Okay, so we will start, and if you've got your programs, we'll go in alphabetical order. And so this will be a mixture of departments as we go through, but we have 6 people, including 2 of our elected officials that are being recognized this year. First is Detective Bradley Grant. And I know we will have some people who are not here. Chief, what we'll do is we'll just sit there's a side so that you can assign somebody to be sure they get theirs later. Next is Sanitation Driver George Whitaker. Next in the Police Department, Facilities Maintenance Worker number second, Kevin Castle. Now, we printed our program several days ago, so it's outdated in terms of title, but once again, Mayor Pro Tem Larry Yockey. Okay, in our Parks and Recreation Department, Athletic Director Miko Burchitz. Also, a 5-year, Councilman Sam Davis. And we'll be sure Councilman Davis gets his recognition. So let's give another round of applause to Okay, next we have 2 individuals who are receiving their recognition for 10 years of service. First, Crew Chief Kerry Cochran. Also, commercial sanitation driver John Lawrence. Okay, next we have 4 individuals who are receiving their recognition for 15 years of service with the city. First is commercial sanitation driver Barry Wilson. Okay, next we have in the police department, booking officer Damon Partain. And next, the police officer Mike McDonald. And finally, Sergeant Terry Wallace. Billy Wallace. Let's give him another hand if we would. Okay, next is our largest group of honorees today. We have receiving their 20-year recognition. I think we have 7 individuals who've been here 20 years, which is great. And we'll start with Lieutenant Brad Loudermilk. Okay, next, Crew Chief David Chapman. Okay, next in the police department, Captain James J.R. Davidson. Next, in the police department, Sergeant Jeff Taylor. Next is laborer Larry Flynn. Larry didn't keep things humming along with Carlos, we wouldn't even be able to do this. So. Next is our planning director, Michelle Wright. And then finally, in the Parks and Recreation Department, Administrative Clerk Pam Langford.
just so there's no conflict of interest, we're going to honor those celebrating 25 years of service. So we have one honoree, and he's standing right here to my right, and that's City Manager Bill Osborne.
Thank you very much, and it's been a great 25 years, and while there's some things about this job I won't miss, I tell you what, I'll miss each and every one of you, and thank you for the experience. Okay, we move on up, jump all the way up to 35 years, back when several of us were much younger than we are now. I guess all of us were. But 35 years, City Attorney Joel Dodson.
How many of you people were actually alive in 1980? Well, I've agreed with Mr. Osborne, since I'm on the clock, I'll dispense with a speech.
We also have 6 retirees that we want to recognize this afternoon. Each of these individuals, of course, had a long service with the city, did a great job for the city. Some have been retired for a few months, some for only a couple of days. And some of us will cross that bridge within the next very few days. But we'll start off, as we're listed here, in the Sanitation Department. Sanitation driver Arnold Turner, 20 years. Okay, next we have in the Police Department, data entry operator Carolyn Wheeler, 16 years. Okay, next we have former police chief Chris Womack, 30 years. Next, in the Police Department, Darren Shaw, police captain, 30 years.
I know, I can't even recognize.
Also in the Police Department, Police Major Greg Graff, 29 years. And finally, Last but certainly not least, from our finance department, Deborah Radigan, 20 years. Well, somebody got to keep it straight there, Debbie.
No singing.
Okay, all right.
Now, some of you may have heard Debbie say no singing. Now, if you haven't heard Debbie sing Happy Birthday to you, you've really missed it. And what I do want to let you know now that she's retired, that she's available for special bookings, so that as your birthday approaches, if you want Debbie to come and serenade you with Happy Birthday, if you check with finance, they can make arrangements for that, I'm sure. Thank you for this group. Thank all of you who are here today that have been honored. Personally, I want to say thank you for me, and I'm sure would be able to say the same thing for this entire group. So that concludes this part of the program, and so now we'll turn it over to, I think, Chief Sparks.
I must say that I was around back there at the Hunter Park back in those long time ago, I think. Probably Chief Womack and Shaw, you were there too, wasn't you? Yeah, you was. But those were some great days, and we seen this luncheon go from there to over at the school building over there at the West Georgia Tech, and it just got better and better and better, and city got bigger and better. So this just shows that we're moving in the right direction. So I think I've been here, I'm not a long time, so I got a long time ago. We'll see if I can do what Joel done. Been there 35 years, I'm gonna try. But anyway, no, I'm just kidding right now. But I'm up here to talk about our honorees for the police department, myself and Deputy Chief Shaw. And we'll start out first with our civilian employee of the year, Michelle Bowen. And come on. Michelle, you know, she, well, I call you Michelle. I've been knowing you a long time, so it's, but she came to the police department, and she brought her cousin over to the police department to get a job, and we had a couple of openings, and so Chief Womack said, they went to school together. She said, well, Marcel, why don't you put in? And so she did, and she was hired for, she'd been with us for 5 years, and I tell you, when you hit the back door, and the back of coming in at the back of the police department, and all you can hear, chaka-laka-laka, ha-ha-ha. I mean, am I wrong? Am I right? Hey, I'm like, oh Lord, it's here, it's on. But that's what you want. You know, you don't want a police department or any department where you don't have laughter. You don't have people that can we can commune together and have fun together. And so, you know, I listened for that. So she'll be back tomorrow. She's been out for 8 days, and I told her, you know what, it's been quiet. So you know what, tomorrow she's going to be back on, and she'll be laughing and doing a cartwheel or two. So. Oh, you got the, oh, you did? I don't have nothing to give you. I'm looking for it. You got something? I'm sorry, it's a trick. That's not it? Well, anyway. Oh, Marcia got it, okay. You don't have it? Yeah.
I'm coming. coming to
This
show
was a
you
trick
where
to
it's
get
at.
you to come out today.
No, I'm coming to give it to you. Here you go.
Okay, there it is. All right, I thought the mayor was gonna get it. Okay,
I'll put it in order for you, Chief.
All
Let's
right.
see what we got.
this is from the office of the mayor, and on behalf of the mayor, person and the city council, they're giving you a check. And, you know, some of that's mine for putting in a good word to hire you, and it's been fun. All right.
It's hard to follow Chief Sparks because he says it all. But Marshall is just one of those people that you want to see at the front. She presents a good image for the city. She's the happiest person on earth. She smiles all the time, so we're proud to have her on our team.
Next, we have Sergeant Dean. Sergeant Dean been with us 19 years, and she started as a patrolman and worked in our cops, school resources, and she has done a great job in the capacity that she is now as a sergeant in courts. I tell you, you hear her coming down the hallway. This is what we got in the police department. You hear her coming down the hallway because she's talking. She don't never stop talking. I mean, if I turn the mic over to her now, but she's always willing to give a helping hand. She's just not talking gibberish. It's always she's talking about something that's important, that's something that's dealing with her job and make something better, or how to help out at the department. You know, so she's a wealth of knowledge. I don't know what we would do in that court. That court would run without her. And making sure that she and the finance department is working together and making sure everything's coming out. So, Sergeant Dean, I got something for you too. And I thought the mayor was going to do this. I said that before. That's why I'm holding for. I was still stuck. But on behalf of the mayor and the council, here's a donation for you for being our supervisor of the year. And we really appreciate you, and God bless you.
Again, Shannon's one of those that you want on your team. She's 24/7. She answers the phone when you call it, no matter what the problem, whether it's her division or not, she's there to help. And she's just one of those team players that everybody needs, and the city should appreciate her, even if she talks too much.
Now, the last one, then we're gonna get out your way. And this guy, Officer McDonald. Come on up, Mike. Superman, do your Superman. You know, and he is a Superman. You know, I say he's like one of my little pups. When he got to the police department, he patrolman, then he active in the SWAT team. He's still one of our team leaders in the SWAT team. You know, he's not afraid to go through the door and save somebody. Plus, he's always trying to help citizens in any capacity that he can. And I must give it up to him because we had one officer killed in the line of duty. And I don't have to wait until that anniversary because Mike McDonald, he's already putting it out there. You know, that's the kind of guy he is, always looking for ways to get the job done better. He and his K9, and he's always fit to fight. And, you know, he could eat all that food over there, but he's just going to stay like this. I don't know what's happening with him, you know. And, you know, an Eagle Scout, and he's been with us, what, 15 years. 15. And, you know, when the balloon go up, so to say, you want Mike McDonald on his team. Because we're going to put a plan together, we're going to keep Douglasville safe if we have to. We hope we don't have to, but if we do, we got guys like Officer McDonald to come up with a plan, make sure the plan works, and then lead through the plan. So get this check for you, Mike. On behalf of the mayor and the council, we got a little donation here for you.
I appreciate it. Thanks, sir.
I appreciate you. All right,
I'm going to say it one more time. Mike's one of those that you want on your team. That's why these three people are standing up here, because they do their job every day, and they're the ones that you want out here representing us, and we appreciate him. Also, this is Mike's second time being Officer of the Year, so that tells you something too. So we appreciate your service.
Thank you, Chief Sparks and Deputy Chief Shaw. We appreciate you. All right, let's give another round of applause for those police department employees. Next on our agenda, we will have council comments. So if Mayor Pro Tem Yaki would come up at this time, if you'd like to say a few words.
I just want to say thank you for doing one heck of a job. Having you all here for that many years, and me being here almost 6 years. It's 5 years right now, but come January 1st, it'll be 6 years. And I couldn't ask for a better team, and that's how I treat you all, as a team. And I hope you continue to work as a team here in Douglasville, and because we need you, and we love you. So, congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Yaki. And I just want to say thank you again on behalf of the HR department and on behalf of everyone here to our honorees and retirees. We appreciate your service, and we thank you for all that you do.